What's up, geeks and gamers? My name is Draymond, and welcome to Thorium Gaming. We're back with episode 25 of Light of the Asur, our attempts to stabilize the Great Vortex and see off all the forces of chaos and evil and the Ratmen. So many Ratmen. Anyway, the last couple of times we've been at war with other elven nations, and we have finally got up to the point where we have the ability to do the Ritual of the Explorer. Kind of in a tough little place right now, though. Yvres, one of the particular places we've been at war with, has kind of pressured us on the eastern coast. And while we could immediately go to battle with them, if we start the ritual now, we're going to be in trouble. If we don't, well, we risk falling behind the Druki and the other elves that are out there. So, we're gonna have to go with a stopgap measure. By which, I mean we are going to recruit another lord. Now, we have a fair amount of influence to spend, and we have to figure out what we're going to actually do with it. I would love to get a princess for the ranged bonuses, but a prince with the elusive trait is actually really tempting. So is an observant one. Simply because they make things a lot better. But I think we're going to have to go with the accurate one. It's a lot of extra missile damage, and the elven princesses strike very similarly to an eagle claw. Like, they hit hard. So we're going to do that probably. Now I just have to figure out which member of the 232 we're going to use for the name on this one. Of course, they do start off slightly higher level than normal, and we're going to get Seeking Arrows for sure, and Inspiring Presence. I'm going to set her up as an archer. But thinking through it all, I have a great person to put in here. Really old friend of the channel, really old friend of mine, Shinny Ann. Awesome lady. That's going back a long time in certain things. But to start off with, we have to figure out what we're going to do for the mainline forces for this particular lady of the Asur. We are making 1,146 gold per turn. So we have to try and keep that as under wraps as we can. Give her a unit of Phoenix Guard to hold the center. Of course, a couple of units of archers, a couple of units of spearmen, and that'll take us up for this particular round. We do have a couple of settlements that we can upgrade while we're doing all of this. Not really sure if we should right now. I mean, Phoenix and Auric are both kind of tied up a little bit on the eastern coast here. With any luck, Auric or Phoenix will be able to intercept any Chaos armies that come in, which would be great. We don't really have anything on the west coast. I mean, we do have Sunshine up here. She could possibly intercept, but I'm worried about that Druki Black Arc. While it can't assault the forces inland per se, it's still not the greatest thing in the world. And we do have Latania and a couple other lords and ladies running around. And Will has gone all the way around the outside of the coastline, and he's going after that Skull Reef, which is going to help us out a lot coming up. In all honesty, I don't think we can hold off the ritual. So we're going to have to hold Lothern, the Game Vale, and Tor Alir. So let's figure out where all they are. Lothern, of course, our capital. Not that big a deal. The Game Vale is right here, and we do not have too many troops near it. So we're probably going to go into the negatives for income over the time that we're going to be doing this. But in good conscience, I can't just leave us without forces. Set him up with some more spearmen and archers. That'll work there. Latania, where is Tor Alir? Illyrian is west coast, so right there. So Sunshine, we're going to get you to head inland. Still going super high speed. Don't know exactly why it's still doing that, but figure it out. And we'll get Latania to come in through the Phoenix Gate We'll see about that. We do have some damaged buildings over in the Broken Lands, but again, I'm not too worried about them. And our good chaplain is way up in the north here, causing some problems for the Druki. I'm not too sure what we're going to be doing here, but the whole point of taking Kael'ra was to disrupt Nagaron itself. And with Nagaron disrupted, we can do a lot of stuff. And we do have Fadilace over here holding on to Grond. And of course, PC's running around doing some pretty awesome stuff. We're not going to worry about the damaged buildings, and we're not going to worry about upgrading right now. The real question is, do we pull the trigger on the Vortex Ritual? Because we know it's going to be a ton of tough army stacks, and we're going to have to fight those out. We don't really have a choice, though. We have to get ahead of the Druki on this, so here we go.
Is underway, my lord. Even working together, it will take your greatest adept some time to complete. Such is the ritual's power that the great vortex itself distorts under its pull. Be wary, though, for while the vortex is weakened, the forces...
Okay, so we might be able to pick a few of them off while they try to make it to the inner islands.
They will doubtless be drawn to the ritual's power.
Now, let's see if that was all of the Chaos armies. If it is, then we can fight these a little bit piecemeal as they're working their way in. And we may not have to worry about forces up here too well. So we can actually cancel these, now that we know where they're coming in from. Latania and Eolar should be able to hold on to it. And we'll actually send Sunshine to the Eagle Gate. Should help out a little bit. And with Xinyan and Tyrion, myself, sitting here with some dragons and some dragon princes, we should be able to hold this area. I'm not too worried about losing cities right now. We're ahead of the Druki. That's what really matters. And if they separate at all, we can have Oryx's army come in and fight, and Phoenix's army come in and fight, and we'll deal with them that way. So let's end our turn and see what the disparate forces want to do.
Servant of the tower.
Only big worry is if they go north. Because if they try and circle back around through the northern approaches, that could be a bad thing. Now, of course, we're getting no help from the Lore Masters at all. They've been content to fight the Skaven down on the south, but the wrong kind of Skaven? That's Clan Pestilence over in Lustria. I'd much rather them be fighting Clan Moors over in the Southlands. That would be awesome. Or they could push north and fight the Druki. Or somehow go to war with the Lizardmen, and then it's less of an issue. Either way, it's kind of a bit of a pill. But we'll have to deal with it as we go along. I'm not too worried. On a kind of related note, though, I finally got to sit down and try out the Tomb Kings DLC. I've read both they're completely underpowered and they're completely overpowered points of view. So I actually think they're really rather balanced. Not in a traditional sense, really. But in a grand scheme, they are rather balanced. Their armies get recruited for free, and they don't really have any upkeep. Sounds broken. Thing is, they can't create armies nearly as fast as every other race in the game. They have to do research to unlock it. Even for their heroes, they have to do long research trees. I'm like 45, 50 turns into a Tomb Kings playthrough, and I only have 2 armies. Probably haven't figured out the details that would allow me to spawn them faster, which would lead more credence to the overpowered point of view. But for the most part, they're not that bad. It is kind of entertaining watching an army stack get wiped out and then promptly get rebuilt, though. And, ironically, a bunch of skeletal units in there get called meat shields.
I am the defender.
How can they be meat shields without any meat?
Choose your words carefully.
Alright, So the random little orcs up here try to declare war on us. Wonder if they're going to go after Chaplain Grimaldus. Now let's see if these guys want to split up. It actually does look like they're splitting up a little bit. That single army stack's going to get wiped out, and then we can have Auric come in from the rear. Arduval's ready for duty, and Fireborn nature. Not too worried about a rebellion. Phoenix gained strict. Alright, so let's check out what we can do for our research first off. Yeah, we're going to have to go with Dragon's Bond. Just because I really, really like the dragons. Both as a unit and stylistically and lore-wise, they're awesome.
Asur.
We'll grab Tempest from Maya. Well, at least another rank of Tempest.
Of Ulthuan.
And we'll have you go all the way into the Gaian Vale.
Faithful servant.
Actually, we'll have
Prince of
Eolar go in there for now. I'm not too sure what Kothik's got up its sleeve, what it's planning. Let's check out and see if those orcs actually engaged us. And it does not look like they have. We got a Cygor, though. Ooh. Chaos Trolls. Black Orcs, and Orc 4 Biggins. It's not a very nice stack to be looking at.
I will not.
Let's get PC to assault them a little bit. See how it works. So that worked out, and he leveled up. He's only got a couple more levels to go before he is completely maxed out. Let's give him a little bit more leadership. Leadership's always a good thing, especially on your characters. I'm not too worried about the imminent rebellion. I'm not too worried about damaged buildings. Apparently Mom the Doge has leveled up as well. And we're gonna give her the Ward of Loek, I think. Makes sense.
At your service.
And we'll just get Erithron to go in there. Grab us a Herald, so a little bit of attrition that is against storms, and we'll just keep sending him down that way. He's kind of a just run around and do stuff army. Not really one of our core armies.
Guardian of the Phoenix Crown.
I am worried about Phoenix a little bit. I'm willing to sacrifice these buildings, or these cities, to keep our leaders in decent enough shape. We're making a lot of money per turn now. So let's grab another unit of Phoenix Guard for you, Xinian. And well, we've been seeing how much work that the Eagle Claws and Great Eagles been doing, so we'll grab a couple Eagle Claws, a couple Great Eagles, and we'll toss you a unit of Heavy Cavalry. Definitely won't hurt your progress at all, and we'll have Phoenix fall back a little bit. Definitely don't want to lose him. And this Chaos stack, it does have a couple of Hell Cannons. Auric does have some Great Eagles. Kind of curious as to where that Chaos Army is going to go. And, of course, the Horde of the Vampire Admiral.
Anchors away.
Let's get Will to come in here. And that way we have 2 army stacks ready to go. They can start fighting there. And, of course, we'll have a couple of army stacks here ready to deal with the Skaven. Phoenix can keep falling back. Not too worried about it right there. Let's just finish getting Sunshine into position at the gate. So we don't really know where those Chaos armies and Skaven are going to split. And that's the biggest concern right now.
Of Ulthuan.
Alright, so let's see what the other nations do on their next turn.
Lawmaster of Hoeth.
War Masters are still doing a lot down in the south. I'm not really sure. Okay, if he secured influence against the ruins, it's definitely a Skaven settlement. We don't even need to speculate on that, because the only option heroes have is scouting, when it's actually ruins. Teclis himself is being a bit weird. Can't really tell what Teclis's grand plan or anything like that is. Nagaron's starting to worry me less and less, though. We're ahead of them on the ritual, which, as long as we're able to hold out against this Chaos invasion, we should be good. And that Black Ark isn't that threatening anymore. And with all the stuff that's going on out at Slaver's Point and on the edge of Nagaron, and the fact that we took out one of Nagaron's 3 cities, it's not too troubling. Like I said, though, I'm willing to sacrifice a few of the recent gains we've made to pull back and fight the Chaos forces. Staying ahead on the ritual at this point is kind of paramount. We could have 90% of the map completed. As long as they have 3 cities and complete the ritual, they win. So, yeah, it's probably a good idea to stay ahead on that. I mean, we can always try to sue for peace with Yvres, which might be an option. Not one I'm overly stoked about right now, but one that we might have to do regardless. So are you going to come in and fight us? Yes, you are. That's a lot of fast troops. Slowest thing in there is the trolls and the Chaos Giant. The Aurelius garrison is weak. The Of the Darkness reinforcements are weak. But we do have some great eagles, so let's jump into this and see if we can work it out. Really, it's the hell cannons beyond anything that worry me. I mean, if we can hold up a lot of the Chaos forces right up front, I'm not too terribly worried. They are going to charge us, and it is going to suck. They hit like Mack trucks when they charge. But that's what spearmen are for.
It will be done.
And with any luck, our archers will be able to absorb, a little bit of the damage.
As you say. Eagle Claw.
And that was totally not what I wanted to do with that group. Apparently I can't click to save my life today.
Understood. Eagle Claw.
There we go. Now it's starting to look a little bit more like
Archers.
my dorky self. Alright, so we do have reinforcements coming in from behind, which is going to be Of the Darkness, I believe, because this is Auric. So how do we want to play this? I mean, we do have an advantage here. We could set our Eagle Claws up on this little hill here, which gives them a fairly decent firing range, and set them over to the spread, which will help us deal with a lot of the cavalry. We'll put our good units of spearmen spread out as much as we can here to avoid hell cannon shots. Our second line up here would seem weak, but we're going to put our sword masters just in behind them. A couple of small units of archers there, and then our good blocks of archers slightly behind. Let's actually group that Illyrian archer, the rest of them here. We're going to put them off to this side over here and do a lot of harassment while we're able to. Of course, the Great Eagles, they're going to be doing something very similar. Their job is to hunt war machines. And Auric, we need you in the center. So this is definitely going to be touchy, at least for the start. So we're going to pause right away. And what do we really want to reduce? Chaos Chariots don't worry me as bad. Yeah, they're tough, they're mean, they're nasty, they're scary. But they're not the biggest threat in my eyes. And since this Chaos Army has very little in the way of ranged we can just sit back a tiny little bit and try to get our Great Eagles in there. So I think that's what we're going to do. And while we're doing that, our reinforcements are going to show up,
It shall be done.
which is Will
March.
and his units.
Spearmen.
We're going to get you to fill out that far end over there, buddy.
Acknowledged. Forward.
Essentially what we want them to think right now is, well, we want them to leave their war machines exposed. So we'll hit and run with our Great Eagles, and hopefully that will be enough. That's the big key, is I'm going to be managing a lot of stuff all at once. I'd rather not get into prolonged combat, especially with their lord right there. Just enough to knock them off of their war machines, at least temporarily.
Quickly now.
The longer we can prevent them from actually doing something effective in melee, the better off we're going to be. But still, those hell cannons are driving into our forces pretty heavily.
For order.
This is pretty much what I expected them to do. Try and slip some Chaos Knights around the side, and
Spearmen.
it's an effective idea. Meanwhile, our front line's going to be dealing with the hell cannon shots and everything else.
Attack.
It's that Chaos Giant that's worrying me a little bit. So Will, do you feel strong enough to go fight it? That's the big question. We do have one unit of Swordmasters
Acknowledged.
getting broken by the Chaos Knights over here. They kind of collapsed in. Not exactly a great situation.
Spearmen.
Gonna have to start collapsing some of these units down.
Acknowledged. For the king.
It's definitely not going to be an easily fought battle.
For Ulthuan. We will obey. Lakoi. Asur, withdraw. Illyrian archers.
Not disrupting those hell cannons as much as I thought we would.
Asur, withdraw. Swordmaster of Thorium. For our ancestors. Archers. Orders received.
Now it's just a matter of finding the weak spots and pinpointing them as best we can.
Attack.
Taking down that giant seems like the most crucial thing right now. It's definitely taking a lot of arrow shots. I don't know how much longer our troops can hold on up here.
For order.
At the same time, our Great Eagles are getting a little bit banged up.
Without fail. Advance. Onward. Understood.
In reality, the key to this is just hurt the Chaos armies as much as possible so that they can't multi-stack when they're going after the big cities down in the center.
It will be done.
And that giant is almost done. Or make sure you get into combat.
Asur, withdraw. Following orders.
Start using a few of our heroes' abilities.
Following orders. Asur. obey.
The fact that they're still getting shots off of those hell cannons is starting to be annoying.
It will be done. Illyrian archers.
So I'm pretty sure they're doing a lion's share of the damage to us.
Swordmaster of Hoeth. By Alariel.
That small unit of Chaos Knights in the center of everything is causing a lot of havoc too.
Prince of Ulthuan. As you say, orders understood. Without fail.
Essentially, it's come down to two little clusters.
Now, advance to war.
You need those archers to start shooting that giant again.
To battle. As you say.
If we can drop that giant, they really lose the biggest part of their melee combat that's left.
March. Orders received. Lacoy. Orion. Prince of Ulthuan.
Come on, guys, drop that giant. Come on, it's almost done.
For Ulthuan. Pull back. Noble Prince. Prince of Ulthuan. Pull back. Pull back.
And right now, it's just hold on as long as we're able to.
Asurian. Asur, withdraw.
Which is really coming down to our heroes and our lords. If we lose this and lose a couple of lords, it's not a good thing. Same time, we've really hampered this army, and there goes the giant.
Prince of Ulthuan.
And with those hell cannons basically out of commission, we might be able to reform and kind of salvage this.
Understood. Acknowledged. Eagle Claw. Asur, withdraw. Spearman. Lacoy.
Having our archers back shooting is definitely not hurting our case any. A lot of their stuff is starting to rout.
To battle.
Right now it's pretty much how long can our lords hang on and how much can they kill before it starts getting really intense. 'Cause these are Chaos Warriors. I mean, look at these guys. They are massive, bulky titans of pain and death and ouch. Yes, ouch is a technical term.
Pull back. Illyrian archers. It shall be done. Asur, withdraw. To the fray.
Hopefully a little bit of a cavalry charge will help here. That Chaos Lord's causing a lot of problems. But if we don't bail our own lords out...
Son of Ulthuan.
Of course, that's a unit of Chaos Knights coming in on the side.
Asur, withdraw.
Right now, it's basically coming down to who's going to lose the least.
For the king. Illyrian archers. For order.
I think this fight is going to determine who wins or loses this entire battle. So if we can win that, should be able to hold on and win the whole thing.
Understood.
Though at this point, it's not looking good. Like, our warriors are starting to get really low on morale.
Agree. Noble prince.
Draw back! Understood.
Yeah, I think we might end up losing this one, and in turn losing 2 of our lords. Sorry, guys. But you did serve your purpose. You completely gutted this Chaos Army.
Draw back.
You never know, we might be able to hold on. Hold faith in Elven Valor.
Son of Ulthuan.
I know some people are probably looking at this and going, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? I don't know. I panicked.
We are lost. Asur prince. Pull back.
And there's pretty much no getting out of this for Will.
For duty. Ancestors. Draw back.
Yeah, this has turned into just one giant mess. This center fight is taking a hell of a lot out of everybody.
Prince of Ulthuan.
Asur! Attack! It will be done. To the fray! Purify!
At this point, I don't really think it matters how many of these devastated units we have that are rallying. It's kind of coming down to our heroes and our lords. And they're starting to break.
Back.
And there it is. But we did maul them extremely badly. Took out their hell cannons, their giant. Not necessarily a good use of lords, though. We are definitely going to have to try to sue for peace. There's no way we're defeating that, so we'll let them do their thing. Alright, so that was painful. Losing a couple of really good lords and
Princess of Ulthuan.
generally not having a good time about it.
Defender of the
Phoenix, we're going to get you to
ready to march.
double time it back to where we can support you. And let's see if Yvres would be willing to accept a peace treaty. Apparently not. But again, all gains down there I am fully willing to put aside. We're going to stop them at the edge of the mountains. It's essentially how we have to do it. And we do have enough to make the court of the Phoenix King. Yeah, we might as well throw that in. I mean, we have 24,000 gold. But given how strong those army stacks are, I think we're going to have to pull out all the stops and bring in a lot of friends here.
Time is of the essence.
Which means, Latania, we're going to have you
Entering the
head off to the coast. Wow, those are a couple of really large dark arcs. And a large Druki army, so we're going to have to fight them now, too.
The enemy must be punished.
And PC is almost max level. Not bad.
Can I offer assistance?
I've said it more than once. I kind of wish the chaplain was back on the mainland, but
Princess of Ulthuan.
not something that we can worry about right now. Definitely going to have to watch this, though. Because when they move in, it's going to be hard and fast, but the Chaos armies are split, which means I think we'll only have to fight the Skaven maxed or ranked up. Never know. We do have a couple of dragons.
Time is of the essence.
4 more slots in my army, and losing those guys gave us a ton of extra room to play around with, so let's take advantage of it. I don't know if we'll get 3 turns to get a Star Dragon in here, but it's worth at least trying. And we'll throw another Eagle Claw in as well. Now finish off my army.
Listening.
We're going to toss a unit of White Lions in for you, and then when Phoenix gets down, we should be good there. I have no idea what we're going to do with these heroes now. They were going to go over to Will's army.
Knowledge awaits.
And Fady Lace has leveled up, so we'll give her Seeking Arrows.
Can I offer assistance?
Can't really recruit too much from the global pool. I mean, she's got a fairly balanced army as it stands. We could give her a little bit of cavalry. For now, I think we'll hold off. We might need that gold to deal with the Chaos Invasion. By which I mean we're going to need that gold to deal with the Chaos Invasion. So let's see what the other realms do during this. And I completely forgot about that army. So there's a little bit of extra gold and some movement, and he's got a couple more islands to scout out there. I keep hitting my mic today. I apologize for that. Now, I can't be 100% certain, but it does look like the Skaven are kinda taking over the central area of Lustria. Looks like it anyway. Given that those elves are taking attrition damage, it could just be because of the jungle, but can't say for certain. Whatever these black arcs are doing, I have no idea. Unless they're trying to come in and go for Lothern. That would definitely suck. I wonder, is Kothi going to come down and help us out? Because they do like us. Yvres is the only one that pretty much does not like us right now. And Clan Morse was destroyed. Ooh. That's a little different. I wonder if the Chaos armies will take care of that Yevresian army for us. It's worth the while to hold out to hope. Maybe. Sort of. Not really. Things could not go that good for us. That'd be funny for Yvres to take on the Chaos armies and thin them out for us. Or Chaos to get slightly stupid and attack Yvres. Is that Chaos army bypassing one of our cities? I think they are. I'm still not entirely certain how we're going to handle that. I mean, I would love to take on just the 2 different little factions of it, and it'd be great, but we'll see.
Loyal prince.
So a lot of messages to finish off the turn that we were already pretty much aware of. There's an Earthing Rod. And it's Clan Pestilence now that is working on the Ritual of Decay. Of course, the Druki are still doing Druki-E things.
Prince of Ulthuan.
That was a lot of E's. Alright, Phoenix, we're going to toss you back into normal stance. I've got 2 more turns on that dragon. We'll definitely have the time.
Defender of the Phoenix throne.
How much does it take to go into camp? 50%. So If we put you there, you should be able to go into in-camp? Yes. So we're going to grab Phoenix, a couple of Phoenix Guard from the global pool. Because we should have 2 turns at very least. And he has no cavalry whatsoever. So while he's doing that, we'll get him a couple of silver helms with
What would you
shields.
have of me?
And Sheena, since you're inside your city still, grab you another unit of White Lions. And why not? Let's grab you a couple of Phoenixes. Phoenix Eye.
Alaria.
And then all 3 of these stacks are going to go into the same fight together. PC will just get you to continue to assault those units. Rana, who is one of the heroes that we adopted when we confederated, and go there.
Ready. Taking up residence. Entering
Tanya,
the
you can
city.
come down. And where's Sunshine? There you are. We need you to book it down so you can be a reinforcement army. Wonder what the odds of confederating with Kothik are.
You may approach. What would you have of the Phoenix King, stranger? Unlikely.
Not this turn, but over time, probably.
You called?
Tyrannox still exists? Wow, I thought they would have been wiped out a long time ago. I guess I have not been paying attention to them.
Who seeks
And the Order of the Lore Masters.
Let us discuss terms in a civil manner. I refuse.
That would have been funny as all heck. Getting the Confederation with them now that we absolutely don't have a use for it. Aside from more settlements, which would allow us to go up towards the end ritual pretty quick. 5,000 waystones. Oh, we're still holding on. So we'll go at least one more round to see where these armies go and what the other nations decide they want to do. I was really tempted to try a Skaven campaign until I realized the only way to start in Lustria is to be Pestilence, and I'm more of a Warlord clan type Skaven, so that means I'm starting all the way in the southeast, in the Southlands, and that means fighting Krokgar. Krokgar is not nice. Also, Khalida is over there, one of the only Tomb Queen. Again, not nice. Clan Morris really gets a pretty bad starting location when you think about it. They really, really do. They're surrounded by a lot of good legendary lords. Huh, where are these admirals going? If they come close enough to the shoreline and we're still able to work it out, sinking both of those would be very, very nice. You know what, if Kothik goes after Tranlia, I'm okay with that. And Yvres taking back the Shrine of Loek is okay too, I guess. It's not perfect. It's still outside of our range of fighting. And they lost another unit of cavalry, which, again, not too great for us, but it's something, I guess. Shouldn't complain too much. Seems like that noble has been just running around all over Ulthuan, stealing influence from every city. What are the pirates of Sartosa up to now? Like, we're on friendly terms with them, but we might have to go to war if they take Tranlia. Those are a couple of big army stacks. Not too worried, though, because I've seen those armies get crushed by Yvres a ton. I'm really hoping that the Ratmen and the Chaos Forces are separate, and they're separated now. I don't have anything that can get over to Carenthel before this happens. So the best we can hope for is a little bit of wounding. You did not die in vain, defenders of Carenthel. We'll do our best to avenge you against the vile Ratmen. How are we looking here?
Guardian of the Phoenix
One more turn left on all them,
We stand ready
one
for
more on the
action.
Phoenixes, and one more on a Star Dragon. We're definitely not going to be completely out of the neighborhood of being able to deal with these guys. And Sunshine has now joined us. We'll see where they end up on the next turn. But that's probably a good place to end it for this week. I mean, we've had a couple of fights that didn't really go our way. Rip Will, Rip Auric. You guys fought to the last. It was brave. It was glorious. It was awesome. So if you liked the video, guys, please consider hitting that like button. If you'd like to join up with the 232, be part of our community, just hit that subscribe button. Make sure you turn your notifications on so you don't miss when a new video goes up. And remember, guys, life is a game, so play to win. Until next time, take care.